You know, there's a moment in life when it hits you, I don't want to lose my independence. Maybe it was the first time you struggled to open a jar, or when a well-meaning family member gently suggested, "Have you thought about assisted living?" And suddenly, you realize, you're not ready to hand over the keys to your life. You want to stay in your own home, make your own choices, and live on your own terms for as long as possible. Well, I'm here to tell you, it's absolutely possible. In fact, I've met folks in their 90s who are still thriving in their own homes, sharp as a tack, and full of energy. And the best part? They're not doing anything extreme. They've just mastered a few simple, powerful habits that keep them strong, healthy, and independent. That's exactly what we're going to talk about today: how to avoid nursing homes forever. Whether you're 65 or 95, these 5 life hacks can help you stay in control of your life, your health, and your happiness. No drastic changes, no complicated routines, just smart, practical steps that add up to a lifetime of freedom. But before we dive into this important topic, please take a moment to hit that subscribe button, give this video a thumbs up and comment below telling me where you're watching from. I love connecting with all of you from around the world, so now let's begin. So, let's start with the very first habit, because this one is the foundation for everything else. Habit number 1, move like you mean it, even if it's just a little. Now, I know what you might be thinking: exercise? Really? That's the big secret? But hear me out. This isn't about running marathons or lifting heavy weights. It's about moving your body in a way that keeps you strong, flexible, and steady on your feet. Because here's the truth: weakness is what sends most seniors into nursing homes. Not disease, not old age, weakness. When muscles get frail, balance gets shaky, and everyday tasks become a struggle, that's when independence slips away. But the good news? You can fight back, starting today. And it doesn't take much. Just ask my friend Helen, who's 92 and still tends to her garden every morning. She doesn't do CrossFit, she just moves. She bends, stretches, walks, and lifts small things. And because of that, she can still get up from a chair without help, carry her groceries, and even dance at her great-grandkids' weddings. So, what's the simplest way to start? Walk. Even if it's just 5 minutes a day. Walk around your house, walk to the mailbox, walk in place while watching TV. The key is consistency, not intensity. And if you can add in a few gentle stretches or light strength exercises, like lifting soup cans or sitting down/standing up from a chair a few times, even better. Because here's the magic: when you move regularly, you're not just strengthening your muscles. You're improving circulation, keeping your joints flexible, and even boosting your mood. And that brings us to our next habit, because staying independent isn't just about the body. Habit number 2, feed your body like it's your best friend. Let's talk about food, because what you eat can either speed up aging or slow it down. And no, this isn't about dieting or depriving yourself. It's about giving your body the fuel it needs to stay strong and resilient. Think of it like this: if you owned a vintage car, you wouldn't fill it with cheap gas and expect it to run smoothly, right? Your body is the same way. After 60, every bite counts even more. Protein becomes crucial to maintain muscle. Think eggs, fish, beans, yogurt. Fiber keeps digestion running smoothly. Hello, oatmeal and veggies. And hydration? That's the unsung hero, because dehydration can sneak up fast, causing dizziness, fatigue, and even confusion. Now, I'm not saying you have to give up your favorite treats. But small tweaks make a big difference. Swap white bread for whole grain. Add an extra vegetable to your plate. Keep a water bottle nearby and sip throughout the day. And if cooking feels like a chore, simplify. Pre-cut veggies, frozen fruits, and easy proteins like rotisserie chicken can be lifesavers. Because when you nourish your body well, you're not just avoiding nursing homes, you're giving yourself the energy to enjoy life. And that's what this is all about. You see, staying independent isn't just about what you do for your body, it's also about what you do for your mind and your environment. Because let's be honest, even if you're moving well and eating right, a cluttered home or a foggy memory can trip you up faster than you'd think. That's why our next habit is all about setting yourself up for success, starting with your surroundings. Habit number 3, make your home your safe haven, without turning it into a hospital. Have you ever noticed how the littlest things, like a loose rug or a dim hallway, can suddenly become big hazards as we get older? It's not that we're getting clumsy. It's that our homes haven't adapted with us. But here's the good news. You don't need a full remodel or those sterile, senior living, grab bars everywhere. With a few smart tweaks, you can keep your home cozy and safe. Take my neighbor, Frank. At 88, he still lives in the same house he bought 50 years ago. But instead of moving out when stairs got harder, he made small changes. He added a sturdy handrail on the porch steps. He swapped his slippery throw rugs for non-slip mats. He put a bright night light in the hallway for those midnight trips to the bathroom. Simple stuff, but it made all the difference. Here's where to start. Lighting. Shadows are not your friend. Add extra lamps or motion sensor lights in dark corners. Flooring. Tape down loose cords, remove tripping hazards, yes, even that pretty rug you've had forever, and make sure pathways are clear. Bathroom. A grab bar by the toilet or shower doesn't have to look clinical, they make stylish ones now. And a shower seat can be a game changer. The goal isn't to turn your home into a safety catalog, it's to remove the little obstacles before they become big problems. Because here's the truth, most nursing home admissions start with a fall. And most falls? They're preventable. Now, while we're on the topic of prevention, let's talk about something even more powerful, your social connections. Habit number 4, stay connected, but on your terms. There's a myth that getting older means you have to slow down, stay home, and shrink your world. But the happiest, healthiest seniors I know? They're the ones who keep curiosity alive. They chat with neighbors, join a book club, or even just call a friend every morning. Because isolation isn't just lonely, it's dangerous. Studies show it can weaken your immune system, cloud your thinking, and even speed up dementia. But here's the key, you get to decide what connected looks like. You don't have to force yourself into a crowded senior center if that's not your style. Maybe it's a weekly phone call with your grandkids, a walking buddy in your neighborhood, even chatting with the cashier at your grocery store. Small interactions keep your mind sharp and your spirits up. And if technology feels intimidating, start simple. A tablet with big icons for video calls can bridge miles in seconds. My 94-year-old aunt video chats with her great-grandkids every Sunday. She calls it her happy time. Because here's the secret, staying independent doesn't mean doing everything alone. It means choosing who and what adds joy to your life, and letting go of the rest. You know, there's something I've noticed about the seniors who thrive well into their 90s. It's not just what they do, it's how they think. They don't wait for a crisis to force them into change. Instead, they make small, smart adjustments before they're needed. That's why our final habit isn't about your body or your home, it's about your approach to aging. Habit number 5, be the CEO of your health. Let me tell you about my friend Martha. At 82, she's healthier than most 60-year-olds. But here's what sets her apart, she doesn't just go to the doctor when something hurts. She's proactive. She gets her hearing checked yearly, stays on top of her medications, and even asks her pharmacist to review them for risky interactions. Last year, her bone density scan showed early signs of thinning, so she started strength training before a fall could happen. That's the kind of smart, ahead of the game thinking that keeps people independent. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking, but I hate doctors' offices. Or, I don't want to be a bother. Here's the truth: regular checkups aren't about being paranoid. They're about staying in charge. A 10-minute blood pressure check could prevent a stroke. A 15-minute eye exam could catch a cataract before it steals your ability to drive. These aren't surrenders to aging, they're power moves. Here's how to put this into action. Annual tune-ups, not just physicals, vision, hearing, and dental too. Fun fact: poor oral health is linked to heart disease. Medication audits: ask your doctor or pharmacist, is this still the right dose? Could any of these interact? Preventive care: flu shots, pneumonia vaccines, and yes, even strength training counts as prevention. The goal isn't to medicalize your life. It's to catch little things while they're still little. Because here's the hard truth: nursing homes aren't filled with people who planned to be there. They're filled with people who didn't have a choice, often because a small issue snowballed into a crisis. The secret ingredient: your mindset. Now, all these habits, movement, nutrition, home safety, connection, proactive care, they're powerful. But they all hinge on one thing: believing they matter. I've met seniors who swear they're too old to change, and guess what? They're usually the ones struggling the most. Then there are folks like 91-year-old Ray, who told me, every morning I wake up and ask, what's one thing I can do today to stay myself? That's the golden mindset. Not denial, I'm fine, not resignation, what's the point, but practical optimism. It's saying, I might not be 25 anymore, but I can still get stronger than I am today. I don't have to accept losing my independence, I can fight for it. Because here's the beautiful thing: your body listens to your beliefs. Studies show that seniors with a positive view of aging live longer, recover faster, and even walk with better balance. Your mindset isn't just fluff, it's fuel. Now, if all this feels overwhelming, take a deep breath. You don't have to overhaul your life overnight. In fact, the most successful seniors I know didn't change everything at once. They started with one thing, just one, and let the momentum build naturally. Maybe it was adding a short walk after breakfast. Or swapping out that wobbly old step stool for a sturdy one. Or calling an old friend every Tuesday. Tiny changes, but they add up to something extraordinary, a life where you call the shots. So let's talk about how to make these habits stick, without turning your routine into a chore list. Because let's face it, nothing fails faster than a plan that feels like punishment. The art of the tiny win. Take my friend Edna, for example. At 87, she told me her big secret: I never let myself have a 0 day. What's a 0 day? It's a day where you do nothing for your independence. Not nothing big, just nothing. So even on her tired days, she does something. Maybe it's just standing up from her chair without using her arms 5 times. Or eating an extra handful of veggies with dinner. Some days, that's it. But those tiny wins keep her moving forward. Here's how to apply this. Stack habits. Pair a new habit with something you already do. After I take my morning pills, I'll drink a full glass of water. Celebrate small victories. Did you stretch today? Pat yourself on the back. Forget perfection, progress is what counts. Use triggers. Leave your walking shoes by the door. Keep healthy snacks at eye level in the fridge. Make the good choices the easy choices. The magic is in the consistency, not the intensity. Miss a day? No drama. Just start again. Because here's what's fascinating. Research shows it takes about 66 days to form a habit, but you start seeing benefits long before then. When stubbornness is a superpower. Now, I want to talk about something we don't discuss enough: the right kind of stubbornness. Society often paints seniors as set in their ways, like it's a bad thing. But that same stubbornness, that refusal to let others dictate your life, can be your greatest strength. Consider my Uncle Joe. At 90, his kids suggested moving him closer to them for help. His response? I'll tell you when I need help. Then he installed smart lights he can control by voice, set up grocery delivery, and hired a handyman for heavy tasks. Was he being difficult? No, he was being strategic. He knew his limits but refused to let them define him. That's the kind of stubborn we should celebrate. The kind that says, I'll accept help on my terms. I'll adapt, but I won't surrender. Because here's the truth, nobody will fight for your independence harder than you. Not your doctor, not your kids, you. And sometimes, that means getting creative. The what if game. One powerful exercise is playing what if with potential challenges. What if my knees get worse? Maybe I'll install that shower seat now. What if I can't drive anymore? Let me research ride services or senior transit options. What if cooking becomes hard? I'll stock up on healthy frozen meals or find a meal delivery service. This isn't pessimism, it's empowerment. By planning ahead, you take the fear out of aging. You're not waiting for a crisis, you're building guardrails to prevent one. Now, all this planning and habit building leads to something even more important than safety or health. It leads to the real prize, a life that stays vibrant, engaged, and full of the things you love. Because let's be honest, avoiding nursing homes isn't just about dodging a place you don't want to be. It's about staying where you're happiest, surrounded by your memories, your routines, and the little daily joys that make life yours. The hidden benefit of staying independent. Here's what nobody tells you: when you take charge of your health and home, you don't just add years to your life, you add life to your years. Take my friend Lorraine, who at 93 still hosts monthly card games with her neighbors. She says those gatherings keep her mind sharper than any crossword puzzle. Or Ben, who at 88 tends a small vegetable garden, not because he needs the food, but because digging in the dirt makes him feel alive. These aren't just hobbies. They're anchors, rituals that give structure, purpose, and delight to every day. And here's the beautiful part: the very habits that keep you independent also feed your happiness. Moving your body releases mood-boosting endorphins. Eating well fuels your energy for the activities you love. A safe home means less fear, more freedom. It all connects. Now, I want to pause on something crucial. Independence doesn't mean doing everything alone. That's a myth that trips up so many proud seniors. The smartest folks I know are masters of selective help. They outsource what's draining so they can focus on what's meaningful. For example, Martha hires a teen neighbor to mow her lawn so she can save her energy for painting. Carlos uses grocery delivery but still walks to his favorite bakery for fresh bread, because that stroll and chat with the baker makes his day. This is the sweet spot: letting go of tasks that drain you, while fiercely holding onto the ones that light you up. Because that's what independence is really about: curating your life, not just enduring it. And here's something else that might surprise you: when you take steps to stay independent, you're not just helping yourself. You're giving a gift to everyone who loves you. Adult children worry less when they see you're thriving. Grandkids get to know you as you, not as a patient. Even your doctors become partners rather than crisis managers. I'll never forget what 94-year-old Evelyn told her anxious daughter: "Honey, watching me live well is the best care you could ever give me." And she was right. When plans need to change. Now, let's be real. Life doesn't always go according to plan. There may come a day when some adjustments are needed, and that's okay. The key is to lead those changes instead of being forced into them. Maybe it's switching from driving to using a senior ride service before an accident makes the decision for you. Hiring a housekeeper for heavy cleaning so you can still cook your own meals. Moving to a senior apartment, not a nursing home, while you're still healthy enough to enjoy the social life there. This isn't giving up, it's leveling up. It's choosing the version of independence that fits your current chapter. Which brings us to perhaps the most important habit of all, one that underpins everything we've talked about. At the end of the day, all the tips, tricks, and life hacks we've talked about boil down to one thing: your attitude toward aging. Because here's the unshakable truth: your mindset is the lens through which everything else gets filtered. I'll never forget my favorite piece of advice from 97-year-old Eleanor, who still lived alone in her beloved cottage. When I asked her secret, she winked and said, "Every morning, I wake up and say two things: thank you, and what's next?" No complaining about aches. No dwelling on limitations. Just gratitude for another day, and curiosity about what it might bring. The two words that change everything. That simple phrase holds profound power. Thank you shifts your focus to what's working, your strength, your memories, your morning coffee. What's next keeps you leaning forward, whether it's trying a new recipe, calling a friend, or simply watching the birds outside your window. This isn't about denying difficulties. Eleanor had her share of pains and problems. But she refused to let them become her entire story. And that choice, because it is a choice, made all the difference. As we wrap up, I want you to imagine something. Picture yourself at 95, sitting in your favorite chair, surrounded by the life you've built. What do you see? The photos? The books? The well-worn path to the garden you still tend? That future is being built by the decisions you make today. Not by giant leaps, but by the small, steady steps. Taking that short walk even when you don't feel like it. Laughing off the small frustrations. Asking for help when needed, but never surrendering your agency. So here's my challenge to you: pick one thing from this video, just one, that resonated most. Maybe it's adding protein to your meals, or doing chair exercises, or finally installing that grab bar. Start there. Let that first success fuel the next. And remember, you're not just adding years to your life. You're adding life to your years. Every choice you make for your independence is a love letter to your future self. Now I'd love to hear from you. What's your thank you and what's next today? Drop a comment below. Your story might inspire someone else on their journey. If this video helped you, hit that like button and subscribe for more tips on thriving at any age. Until next time, keep choosing joy, keep claiming your independence, and keep reminding the world that growing older doesn't mean growing less. Here's to living fully, on your terms, all the way to 100 and beyond.